Welcome back to Broken Electronics. I'm Lee, and I'm so glad you could take time to join me here today for the big reveal. What is going to replace the trash can? Well, you've obviously seen the title of the video. You know what's going to replace the trash can. And if you've been following computer oriented uh, videos on YouTube recently, you will probably have seen a minimum of 200 M4 Mac Mini unboxings. So here's another one. But just we have to put this in the framework of the collection. Of course, I have an extensive Mac Mini collection, and if you know me at all, you had to realize that coming out with a newly redesigned Mac Mini, the first one in over 14 years, I had to get one. Anyhow, I'd like to look at that perspective. Here, for example, the first Mac Mini. This is not my original Mac Mini. My first Mac Mini was, in fact, a G4 PowerPC Mac Mini, which I bought not in 2005 when it was released, but 2006 when the Intels had come out. This was cheaper, and quite honestly, it was a better machine than that first Intel. Okay, but the plastic top, yeah, metal on the sides, all of that, optical drive, of course. That gave way then to one of the worst computers I think Apple ever released. This is the first Intel Mac Mini, the Core Solo 32-bit processor. Really not a good machine at all. As I say, I bought the G4 in preference to buying this. Okay, but as far as the front, looks exactly the same. You can see a difference in the back I/O. All those USB ports. The G4 only had two USB ports. All right. And the top of the line of this particular form factor, I apologize, these stickers on here, the seller, I don't know how he fixed these stickers on there, but they're murdering. I will get them off, but I haven't taken the time to at this point. Now, the difference here, you'll notice there is no optical drive on this. Otherwise, exactly the same case. This is the server model. This is the 2009 Core 2 Duo server. In the server models of the Mac Minis, and they only released maybe three, I think. I'm talking off the top of my head. They took out the optical drive and added a second hard drive for a little more storage space. All right, so this is 2009. Can still be a usable computer today, actually, if you want to work with it some. All right, then finally a big change, 2010. 5 years of Mac Minis, and we get something different. We still have the optical drive there, but this very sleek, all aluminum case. Very, very beautiful little machine. In some ways, I shall miss these, definitely. Okay. Now, in 2011, optical drives went away forever in the Mac Minis. This actually is a 2012. This was quite an amazing little computer, and can be a very, very useful machine to this day in certain particular situations. But same enclosure. Well, we got a new color anyway. 2018, and yeah, this machine, you got to take a good look at, because this changed Apple's entire outlook on the Mac Mini. It went from being a secondary machine, entry level, cheap product, to being admittedly a lower priced machine, but a powerful computer in its own right. And these 2018 machines as much as they have been completely blown away by Apple Silicon, changed everything for Mac Minis. I kind of liked the space gray. Never came back. The M1 and M2 series of Mac Minis, of course. I have an M1. It's downstairs. I'm not going to hobble downstairs to get it. But you know, they have that same silver aluminum case. And here we are, complete in its packing box. Let's get right to this, see if we can convince this to open up. Ah, nice little handle, pulls right open there. I've got to rip through that. So that's the shipping case for Apple. And here's the Mac Mini itself. All right. Yes, we have little pull tabs here. They make it such an experience just to get into the things. Okay, and now there it is. Oh, the peeling tradition. There we go. How about this? Okay. Yep. All USB-C. Do have a headphone jack there. 3 Thunderbolt ports on the back. HDMI. There we go. And yes, the power button. The power button is on the bottom of the machine. And no, you cannot get your finger in there. Even I don't have large hands. I cannot get a finger in there. The only way to turn the machine on will be to lift it. Honestly, I don't care. You know, it's something you have to deal with. Mac Mini power buttons, good Lord. What's this one? This is the 2010. The power button on these, you couldn't even feel them. And the number of times I have went to turn on a Mac Mini and I'm reaching around behind there trying to find that darn power button, even though I know perfectly well where it is, you can't feel it. With this, you lift it up a little bit, get used to where it is. Yeah, you can feel exactly where it is because it is concave. Okay. So I don't have a problem with the power button. There is one thing about this design. It's a 3-inch square. It's a 3-inch square. You got a couple inches this way. Actually, it's more than 3 inches. It's 5-inch square, whatever it is. But they should have added a couple of inches of depth in here. Let me explain why. That's right. Another 3 inches there, and this would have been a cube. The M4 Cube. Steve Jobs' dream computer come to life, but for the lack of 3 inches. All joking aside, let's talk about what I actually have here. This is actually the base model M4 Pro. And I got this, honestly, if I were just buying this for collection purposes, I would have bought the base model. And to tell you the truth, I did, because recently you may have seen Amazon's Black Friday sales, and I couldn't resist picking one up for just under $500. Yeah, it won't be here till January, but what the heck, I've got this. This channel started as a result of my fascination and love for one of, if not the greatest computer of all time, the 5.1 Cheese Grater Mac Pro. I've I've got one in front of me right now. That's what I'm using to make this clip. It's what I use to edit all of the videos that I do for this channel. This channel began from that. And of course, it has branched out, PowerPC. And speaking of PowerPC, I am still living the Mac Pro lifestyle, and I intend to live it as long as I possibly can. They're still wonderful machines. But the clock's ticking. One of these years, Apple will release an update of the operating system that leaves out Intel-based machines. And no amount of Open Core Legacy Patcher is going to keep these machines going. And the cheese graters will have gone the way of the original cheese grater, the Power Mac G5. That's a quad back there. Great machines and fun to this day, but you know, it's part of history, and that's where they're going. This, I've heard people say that they think Sequoia is going to be the last stand for Intel, and the next iteration after Sequoia will drop Intel support. I'm hopeful that won't be the case, but this is going to happen. So I got a machine with some power. It's got 24 gigs of RAM, 512 gig SSD inside, but we can talk about that later. And very significantly, Thunderbolt 5. That's a future proofer right there. That's going to be a game changer. It isn't yet. The Thunderbolt 5 peripherals are only just starting to come out in the market, but they're coming. So, you know, I had to, if only to get the Thunderbolt 5, I had to take this jump ahead. Other than that, this is the entry level of the M4 Pro machines. This, when I finally have to say goodbye to my beloved cheese graters, this is going to become my computer, and where I do, you know, the vast majority of my work. All right, now, since this is going to be my computer, I got some other things too. Now, I have all kinds of keyboards and pointing devices and stuff kicking around the house. I didn't need to come up with this, but I figured if we're going to do this, let's do it right, since Apple has now finally updated some peripherals. The Magic Keyboard. This is the only update to this really is the elimination of the Lightning port. Finally goes to USB-C. That's going to be a very helpful thing. Magic Trackpad. I have used trackpads. I've used the original version. This is the one with the battery compartment in there, and it's great. I'm very interested in seeing what's going to be up with this device. And finally, last but not least, as the saying goes, the Magic Mouse. Again, the USB-C version. I will admit this. I may be the only tech YouTuber in the world who actually likes the Magic Mouse. And I do like it. Yes, I am frustrated as heck with that, in this case, Lightning port. In this case, it's going to be a USB-C port on the bottom of it. But it does charge very quickly, and I think with USB-C power delivery, there's a good chance this is going to charge up even quicker. So it will be, it's not ideal, but it'll be workable. So yeah, these things are all going to be part of the new setup. And I'm really looking forward to getting into that. But that's going to be another video. There's a lot that will go into that. I'm not going to guarantee when that is. It looks like, assuming that this video actually gets edited and uploaded in time, it'll be 2 Tuesdays in a row for the first time in quite a long while. I'm still not going to guarantee that. I hope we can get videos out in a little bit quicker frame of time, but we shall have to see about that. I'm not completely in control over that. And for me, music comes first. I've got to make sure that I can still make that happen. And given the physical challenges I'm fighting right now, that's not the easiest thing in the world. I can play fine. The walking thing is a bit of a problem, but we'll get there. In any event, thank you for spending this time with me today. Be good to other people. They need it and deserve it. Be good to yourselves. We can make this world a better place. It isn't yet. Anything that we do to make this world a better place has to start with being good to ourselves. If we're not in the best possible position to help others, it won't happen. Be so careful in these very difficult times, and it seems like they get more and more difficult. Anyhow, the next video that should come up should be a demonstration of the setup of the M4 Pro Mac Mini and some of what it can do. That should be interesting. I don't know that I'll get that up by next week. Maybe it'll be a couple of weeks. We'll have to see. Should be before 2025, however. So until that's up and available, and some of the other many ideas that I've got for videos that I just haven't been able to make happen yet, till those are available on the channel, this has been Broken Electronics.